Hello everybody and welcome back to Atelier Meruru. Last video we did a few things in Arland before we headed out to Ent. We are now in Ent Forest and the middle part of the tree is a huge spiral climb up towards the top. Very beautiful environment. You've got a few different ways you can go. The path usually forks two ways, and as long as you're climbing up, you feel free to take whatever path you'd like. There's a few items to collect along the way if you feel like stopping at a gathering point. There are witch roses to fight along the way, as well as the gold-haired rams. I feel like we have seen these before, however, it's been so long that I don't recall when. Not very strong enemies though, so no worries. Just thought I would fight one along the way for the sake of doing so, because we haven't really seen this enemy in a long time. But as you can see, the experience I'm getting is pretty pitiful. Mostly though, the tree is very barren. It's a lot of climbing with a whole lot of nothing, to be completely honest. But I really enjoy it. It's just a nice kind of peaceful climb. A beautiful tree, beautiful environment, and I can't even imagine how high this tree would be. So this is a very long climb. You need to be very high up. If you fell, you would be done.
Let's get this over with.
Absolutely done, but luckily, the game prevents us from falling off the edge. It's one of those games that has invisible boundaries, so no worries. There's also giant bugs, which is to be expected, I would think. Or at least in my mind, it seems pretty normal for giant bugs to be in trees.
This one's mine.
And these enemies are only found in the middle section of the tree, whereas the pixies and bunnies are found on the bottom part of the tree. And we're actually at the top, so it wasn't too long of a climb. It really depends on which path you decided to take. Now, as soon as you go to the top of the tree, you will be forced into a boss battle, so just make sure that you are prepared, make sure you are healed, you've got all your items in order before you go up. I am missing a little bit of MP, which may be a problem because I don't think that any of my items actually restore MP, but I think that in the long run I will be okay, so I'm going to continue onwards. Look at this beautiful place. It looks so peaceful up here.
Oh man, did I finally reach the center of the forest? What a huge tree! I kind of feel like somebody's watching me. Is this Ent's true identity? If it's a monster, I've gotta fight it. Come on, Meruru, you can do this. All right, I'm gonna take you down.
Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the power of Ent, the giant monstrous tree. The boss battle itself is actually the tree. And of course it's being controlled by the giant crystal in the middle, which has been mentioned to us a couple of times in the game. Our Uncle Geo mentioned it, that if the crystal could be smashed, then the tree would fall asleep. It wouldn't really have its powers anymore. So that's pretty much what we're aiming to do. This guy always kicks my butt. So I definitely can say with certainty that I do not have the best history with him. I do not have the best boss battle of him on YouTube, that's for sure. But slowly but surely we are going to get through this battle. So of course he is weak to fire. Unfortunately, my pitiful bombs are not going to do much damage. So I'm gonna do what I can. Lightning damage isn't too bad. Regular damage is the least effective, I find. Mimi's not going to do a whole lot because she only does regular damage with her weapons, so I'm going to use her special abilities until her magic runs out, and then I'm primarily just going to use her to chain and for her special ability when that time comes. I've used an auto alarm. I'm going to use a healing bell to keep my healing up. He can nullify your buffs.
Can you follow my movement?
He can fire unis upon you and do earth damage. He can send an army of angry bunnies at you, which does multiple damage. He can mow you down where he hits you with that giant vine. So he has a very wide variety of attacks, and they are all pretty powerful actually. So I'm gonna use some monster pots because they're pretty effective in this fight. My higher quality ones are. Especially if I chain it together. And spirit stones are also going to work very well. I plan on firing a couple of meteors at him as well, just to get a little bit of damage every couple of turns in between, just something for a little bit of bonus, because every little bit helps. He heals every single turn, 150 every single turn, and every time that he does have a turn, he attacks multiple times. I find his pattern to be really unpredictable. Sometimes he seems to use the weaker attacks and I get really lucky, and then other times he uses some really strong attacks against me. And when he nullifies your buffs like that, I do believe that your auto alarms also wear off. When I did this battle in practice, I had used an auto alarm and Mimi had died and it didn't revive her like it should have. I'm not going to worry too much about that because I do have nectars, I do have lots of healing items, and it's highly unlikely that he would wipe out all 3 of my party members at once. But just a warning to anybody that if you are doing buffs with items in this battle, he can nullify them at any given time. Which can be frustrating if you're trying to get a head start in the battle or you're trying to get an advantage. It's not always going to work. He also has the ability to poison you. As you can see there, Mimi is poisoned. She takes a lot of the damage, it seems like. I feel bad for her. But she's a tough girl. She can handle it. And it seems like I was doing a lot of damage, but because he does heal every turn, it now looks as if I really haven't. So I'm just gonna try and keep up here. If I remember to heal, everything should be okay. And I do get quite a few turns in between his turns, which gives me a lot of opportunity to do a lot of damage in between so that when he does heal, it doesn't seem as bad. But for me, this has always been an extremely slow-going and very agonizing battle. The first time I did this battle, I beat him with Sturk and Gino near the end of the game, like I'm doing now. And it was still pretty tough, just like it's pretty tough now. Thank you, Mimi. That will definitely give us a bit of an advantage. I feel like if I had more fire attack on Mimi's weapon, or I had better quality bombs, that this would go a lot better for me. But that's okay, I'll make it through. Sometimes the road less traveled feels a little bit more rewarding, if you know what I mean.
Here it comes! This one's mine!
I really love the music, by the way. This boss battle actually has unique music. If you haven't noticed, this music hasn't been heard by any other monster in the game or any other battle that we fought, which I thought was really neat because in a way you're destroying this ancient tree that's been around for God knows how long. So in a way it's kind of a really epic battle with nature, kind of that whole man versus nature thing, which I really like about it. It's got a really cool atmospheric type feel to it.
Upon my honor, I come! Lightning shall strike and destroy you all! Such is the breath of my justice!
Sturk did major damage there, but we didn't defeat him. Hopefully next turn we'll be able to... Oh, I still got ways to go. I thought this would be over a little bit quicker. I feel like I was doing better than I was doing before, and this honestly isn't going as badly as I thought it was gonna go. I do always feel bad when I do a boss battle in a video and it takes the entire video. As to be expected in a JRPG, I suppose. No one's died yet though, and Mimi and Sturk are handling their poison really well. I'm going to use another monster pot, I think.
Suck on this!
That earth damage is really nice when I can unleash those monsters. Items are not nearly as effective if you can't chain, which is really unfortunate. Chaining your attacks is just so incredibly important in this game. Meruru would probably do a decent amount of damage with her staff, but I think I'd rather use items. And she actually heals HP when she attacks, but I don't attack with her very often.
Heed my sword and cry out! I'll take your place.
We're getting down to the wire here. I also have to use more healing bells. I think I forgot to put that back on.
Quitless.
I think I might have to put my foot in my mouth too, because Mimi looks like she's pretty close to dying here. If I could get off without dying though, that would be pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. And Mimi may just be able to finish him off with her next special. She has another special in line, and she has been a absolute showstopper with those specials. I think she killed the last 2 dragons we fought in Mountain Bellis with her special. I guess I just have good luck and good timing with her abilities. Let's give it a shot. Ah, there we go. So graceful, so elegant. We have destroyed the crystal that was stuck inside Ent. We get a ton of experience, a substantial amount of coal, and Meruru has made it to level 50. So I think that's a pretty good ending, actually, in my mind. We get a few drops, a holy tree leaf, an invincible rod, this is a weapon for Rorona, some medicine thread, and a fairy world tree.
Is that it? It looks like the crystal shattered. Does that mean the forest went back to normal? I feel bad I can't put it back where it used to be. But forests shouldn't be moving around like that anyway. Now I'm just confusing myself. But all's well that ends well, I guess.
And of course, we cannot forget our whopping 100 development points that we get for finishing that. I also got 10 points for getting Meruru up to level 50. So now we have 115 development points with nothing to spend them on. We're getting very close to our next rank, and Ent will be gone forever once we exit. You can actually get to the base by jumping, which would be a very, very long way down. And there's a few rare collection spots along the way. So there we go. Ent is now just a forest. It has lost the ability to move, which I guess is a good thing and a bad thing. We kind of came in and caused a ruckus, but at the same time, the forest is still preserved and the crystal that was controlling it is gone. So I think what I'll do is we will warp back to Arles using our warp gate. I'm going to go ahead and read these books. The Disaster Theory. We learn how to make a talisman net, the land clasp that I've so desperately been wanting to make, the sealing amulet, a safety box, and a pocket watch. The next book contains the recipe for fortune dice, enchanted paint, wise manopedia, 0G bag, dessert basket, and a purity vase. Now, with those books read, I now have the ability to make pretty much everything that is entailed in the Quayle Forest and the Modus Ruins development quests. It's going to be a lot of off-screen synthesizing for me because there's a lot of steps that goes into making these items. Luckily, I have prepared ahead of time. So off-screen, I'm going to make most of the items that I need. And in the next video, we will hopefully be able to deliver those items and so much more, because there's still a few things we need to tie up in this game before its end. Thank you so very much for watching, everybody, and I hope that I will see you next time.